Gentani, and welcome to another episode of the Godfather Minute. My name is Alex Robinson.
My name's Andrew Robinson.
Together we make up the Godfather Minute brothers, who are the hosts of the Godfather Minute podcast. And today we're talking about minute 147.
Woo! Alex, repeat after me.
Repeat after me.
What are you doing?
This is nonsense.
We got to go have the dueling characters at some point.
Yeah.
Alex, repeat after me. E minuto. Numero. 147.
47.
You got it.
Now, before we proceed, I'm going to say that yesterday I was eating some food and I bit my tongue. And I bit my tongue hard enough where it was actually bleeding a little bit. Sorry, I don't want to conjure such gruesome images at the beginning of the episode.
Alex, that's a Sicilian message.
So I just want to point out that if at certain points I sound like I have some kind of speech impediment, it's because I'm trying to avoid having my tongue touch the part of, I actually move my tongue in such a way where it doesn't touch the part of my teeth, so some of my words might sound a little more garbled than usual.
Well, now, first of all, I don't think you can sound any more garbled than you normally do.
It's impossible.
And two, I'm really glad we have this curtain in between us because you're spitting blood out all over the place.
The curtain. Oh, I should have brought a water pistol with red food coloring and sprayed it up against from your side. You would just see the.
By the way, is the COVID-19? Can it be passed along through blood spit out from someone's tongue?
That's a great question.
I don't think they've tested that yet. No, but in all seriousness, when someone bites their tongue, it's a Sicilian message.
What does it mean?
It means Luca Brasi bit his tongue.
There was a tongue biting metaphor, and I think in the book at one point, or it said something like even the tongue will bite your teeth will bite your tongue every once in a while as a way of something about loyalty or something. There was some phrase about that. I don't remember what the specifics of it.
I don't remember it. I'll look back.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so let's talk about minute 147. What do you got? Here's a little summary in case you're not fluent in what goes on in every minute for you at home.
Mm-hmm.
Minute 147, Michael Corleone, Al Pacino, arrives back at the compound where Kay, Diane Keaton, lets him know that Connie, what's her name again?
Connie Corleone.
No, Connie.
You're talking about Kay or Connie
Corleone? Talia Shire and Carlo, the other guy, want him to be the godfather to their boy, Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, sorry, to their boy. Let me start over again. Mikey arrives back at the compound where Kay lets him know that Connie and Carlo want him to be the titular godfather to their boy, Victor. And Don lets Mikey know that he's going to be assassinated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's two scenes here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So starting with Kay, Connie, Carlo, and Mikey.
Yeah, boy, that's a mouthful. No wonder you had to do that again.
Especially with a bloody stump of a tongue in my mouth.
Kay, Corleone, and Connie. I think there's a Godfather tongue twister.
Oh, now bad timing, dude. Bad timing.
Oh, don't say bad choice of words. Tongue twister.
So why does Mikey hesitate to be the boy's godfather?
Yeah, first of all, it's such an interesting exchange because before she even asks him, she says, "Oh, Connie wants to ask you something," and he doesn't even pause. He just, "Well, let her ask me."
Yeah.
If someone said that to me, I think I would pause just to process that for a second. Right? It seemed odd to me, but I have the same question, Alex. I'm not sure why You're asking why he has not sure why he's going to wait and see.
Why? Well, first of all, I guess if your sister has a baby, and its head does not pop off, and you're the head of the crime family, I would think, I wonder if they're going to ask me to be their godfather, to be the godfather to their child. He must have thought about it at some point. A schemer like Michael could not have thought about every possible outcome.
Yeah, maybe, but there's also a lot on Michael's mind. This is the most important point in his legacy. He is now transitioning. He is the titular Don.
Yeah.
And he's about to put in motion all of these decisions that are going to impact his family for generations.
You're saying all my questions will be answered?
Yes, that's all I can tell you now. Yeah, I had the same question. Is it why did he says, quote, "Let me think about it. We'll see."
Yeah.
And it got me wondering, maybe he's waiting because he's not sure if Carlo is the traitor is a traitor.
That's what I was wondering. That's what I was.
And he wants to know first.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if it had something to do with Carlo were they still investigating it? Like, were they still trying to, solve it? But what's interesting is that he does become the godfather and he still winds up killing Carlo. So what was the alternative? I won't do it.
Yeah,
because I'm going to kill Carlo.
If Carlo is not a traitor, if he wasn't to blame for Sonny's death, then Michael would not have been.
Because he wouldn't have any respect for Carlo for putting up with that, for letting Sonny slap him around and then not even trying to do anything about it.
That's right.
Weak.
Yeah. Your punishment is your outcast. and the punishment is I'm going to be godfather to your child. Like, not only are you outcast, but now I'm going to have more of a say in the raising of a child than you will. Maybe that really is something to that, maybe.
Well, I made me wonder if Don is still alive. Don Corleone is still alive.
Oh, yeah.
So is it something where, like, you have to ask Don first? Like, out of respect?
Don Corleone?
Yeah, you have to ask Don Corleone first.
Oh, I see.
And, like, if Don Corleone says, maybe Don doesn't know but I can't imagine Don Corleone being as old as he is being like, yeah, sure, I'll be the godfather. He must know he's kind of, he's on his way out.
Yeah.
But maybe they just have to wait for him to formally say it and then Mikey can do it.
Yeah, I guess. That makes sense.
Nothing in the book, huh?
No, I could not find. I scoured the book, could not find it. It's hard. In the book, Puzo jumps around quite a bit, and we are at a point where it flashes back again.
Right.
But I couldn't find anything about that.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, I'll look again. I'll check it. I'll check it out.
It also made me wonder what the rules were for becoming a godfather.
Yeah.
And also, before I forget, I wanted to congratulate you, Andrew. I think you are a godfather to one of our cousins.
Our cousin's daughters.
Right. Well, she's also our cousin. So,
yeah, that's correct.
Like, more either removed or whatever the rules are. But I think now she's probably getting old enough where you're probably you have no more responsibilities.
Yeah. The pastor said that my duty would be to, if something happened to her parents, that I would be responsible
for her moral upbringing.
Yeah, for her Christian upbringing.
Yeah.
To make sure she had Christian beliefs instilled in her. But she's in college now, so she's way past all that.
Yeah, so you're...
I don't even if something, God forbid, happened to her parents, I think she's already lost. I would not be able to guide her in a Christian... She's in an American college, Alex. Come on.
Oh, she believes in America. You can't blame her.
You believed in American colleges, but they didn't give you Christian beliefs like I can. Now come help me whack this kid.
So I looked up the rules on the internet.
Yeah, what do you got? And I'm wondering if it's different for Catholics as it is, because I'm a Lutheran godfather. I am not a Lutheran, but I was permitted to be a godfather to this Lutheran child.
You were like a guest god. You're like a guest godfather.
A stand-in.
You're an honorary Lutheran.
There you go. I didn't have to do all the hard work. I just got the bonus degree.
And now you get to go to heaven. You don't have to do anything for it. Oh, awesome. Man.
You know what? If it's that easy, Alex, will you be my godfather?
Well, if anything, I'm mad because I got stepped over. I'm your older brother.
It's not how the Lutheran pastor wanted it. So what are the rules, Al?
So this is specifically for Roman Catholics. So according to the Wikipedia, it can't be a parent. That's like wishing for more wishes. Can't be a parent. So there's no theoretically nothing. There's no other blood relation. So an uncle or a grandfather could be. So either Vito or Michael Corleone are eligible for Godfather status in this situation. Also, do we know if this is the first child born since he's become the Godfather? I guess we don't really know.
I don't know.
It seems, well, Connie was just pregnant while Sonny was still alive. So
yeah. And Kay is pregnant right now.
Well, then who's that's not Anthony in the car with them?
That is Anthony. That's their first child.
Oh, so Kay is pregnant with their second child.
That's right. In the book, Puzo writes that she is pregnant at this time.
Okay. So,
yeah, because that's definitely Anthony.
Oh, so then the baby that is being baptized is not the baby she was pregnant with then.
You mean Connie's baby?
Connie's baby, the baby she was pregnant with when Carlo made her clean it up is not the baby that is going to be baptized.
Correct.
Because Mikey and Kay had a whole child in between them.
Yes.
So it's weird because you see her pregnant and then you see her with a baby. So I think your mind just naturally conflates the two into thinking this is the baby.
That's right. Yeah.
But it can't be because it was years ago that happened.
That's right.
So
yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
It's very rare you see someone get pregnant twice in a single movie.
Yeah.
Anyway, so parents can do it. Oh, I forgot, so one of them was they cannot be under canonical penalty.
Oh, interesting.
And I meant to look up what that, you know what? I'm going to look up what that is. So we're going to put that in the we asked, we answered category.
Okay.
So remind me of that.
You want to take a guess as to what are some examples of canonical penalties?
I'm guessing it means like you aren't excommunicated, like you're not under, you're in good graces with the church.
Yeah.
Like you don't owe dues or anything like that you, like, I'm sorry, you could be the Godfather, but you owe $80 in past things.
Well, it's a great system to keep those dues coming. A lot of money in that church tithe.
A lot of money in them white wafers. You have to be a confirmed Catholic, a doy. You have to be over 16. So 17-year-old can be a Godfather. Wow. And here's one that's the vaguest. They have to be an appropriate person. That's the provision they put in these rules, the catch-all for any other reason you don't want them to do it. Well, interestingly, in 2015, the Vatican ruled that trans people are not allowed to be godparents because of they are not appropriate.
Oh man!
Like just because of the fact that they're trans is proof that they are not with God and all that stuff.
And they cite that provision.
I don't know if they cited that was their ruling was trans people cannot be godparents. Wow. They didn't specifically say citing Article 1 because they're not an appropriate person. They just said because their choices indicate that they are not.
So I wonder if that's a canonical penalty.
Oh, maybe that's it.
It's not that they're not
canonical penalty.
Yeah. 10 yards, canonical penalty.
Not this yard, but 10 yards from now.
Tom Hagen would be a great football ref, right? Oh my gosh, he'd be great. Or basketball. I could see him running back and forth down the court.
Busting his ass every night. I want to see Tom. Okay, so is Tom Hagen is he the referee or is he one of the coaches?
Oh, he'd be a great basketball coach.
Because he has the suit and everything.
Yeah, but he's not high strung enough. He'd have to be.
Well, he could be one of those guys who's mostly quiet, but every now and then it yells.
Yeah.
So here's the people you have. You have Tom Hagen, you have Jack Woltz, and you have McCluskey. Who's the ref? Who are the two refs, and who are the two coaches, and who's the ref?
They would all be great coaches. Well, I think of Tom in the scene where they're with Sonny and Michael and the couple regimes trying to figure out the next move before Michael shoots Salazzo and McCluskey. And remember when Tom starts yelling at Sonny? That to me, that's classic NBA coach.
Oh, yeah.
He's like he's loosening his tie. He's trying to hold it together, but clearly his blood pressure's high. What are the different roles? Coach
and the two referees.
Oh, and the two referees. I think Waltz would be a great coach.
They would all be great coaches.
They would.
Sterling Hayden's tall, so maybe he'd be a good player. He'd be a former player turned coach. One of those.
Yeah, McCluskey would be a center.
Yeah.
Hagen would be the ref, and I'm going with Waltz as the coach. Waltz flying up.
No, Mo Green's the one who flies off the handle.
You got to stay. It's 2-1-2 defensive formation. Now get the hell out of here. Get back on the court.
If McCluskey was the ref, and when they start the game, he's like, "All right, I'm gonna take this ball and I'm gonna throw it up. I'm gonna throw it up, eh?" Coach, he's an all-star.
God damn it, I gotta throw it up. If McCluskey,
lay it up. That's even better.
There you go. Damn it! Stop taking shots from outside the key. I said, lay it up.
Oh man,
that's great.
So those are the rules about becoming a Catholic godparent.
If McCluskey were a coach and their star player didn't have any rest, he was so knocked out.
Yeah,
it's like, Coach, we can't put him back in. He's burnt out. Damn it! I said stand him up. Just push him out there. What about the Turk? The Turk could be a good point guard.
I don't know all the technical rules of basketball.
Because Michael's saying like, I want him protected. Damn it, I'm the hunted one. He's the one that they keep having double teamed.
Oh, now I want to do a whole whole 2 teams based just on Godfather characters.
Yes, that's great.
Would you have all the Corleones on one side and like all of the all the Tatalios on the other side, or just all the other families?
Greatest hits of all the other families.
Yeah.
Bruno would be a forward. He would do magic tricks. Bruno Tattaglia. He'd be like a Harlem Globetrotter doing all tricks with the ball.
Oh, yeah,
confusing
totally.
People.
Taking it out of someone's ear.
Fun. So, do you have anything else about the Godfather aspect? I have something about that scene before we get to the garden scene.
Yeah, I have some more about the scene with Kay and Mikey, too.
So Anthony, this is really interesting. Anthony is in Michael's lap in the car.
Yes.
Right? Michael is now dressed like Don Corleone used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony is dressed like a soldier.
I noticed that.
Which is what Michael used to be. So it's fascinating how the roles have transitioned.
Yeah.
So is this foreshadowing that Anthony is going to rebel like Michael did?
And which he does wind up doing. Yeah.
He does in GF3.
Yeah.
Isn't that awesome?
But it's also interesting that it's also he's rebelling against his him wearing the uniform is a symbol of rebellion against his father, but also presumably Mikey is the one who is dressing him like that. So it's like he's not really rebelling. It's almost like Mikey is keeping his own, like the idea of his own rebellion alive.
Yeah. I mean, he truly, the only reason Michael gave in and became the Don is so that he can truly do what his father couldn't, which is to get the family legitimate.
Yeah, get the family
he's
legitimate.
Dressing Anthony like, you are going to be an American child.
Yeah.
And this all ends now.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because, I mean, at least in the book, it sounds like, I guess.
Yeah, they definitely have a plan to go legit.
Right. And Mikey was supposed to go legit.
Yeah.
But they still got mad when he joined the military. I guess because he could get killed. Saving lives of strangers. What does it say? Sacrificing your life for strangers, risking your life for strangers. That's it.
Yeah.
So not only is he in the military outfit, but Kay is holding a bird marionette on like on a stick, which is also the Godfather symbol. You know the what is it the
strings?
I know, but what do they say the big guns? What do they call them?
Oh, the pezzonovante.
Yeah, the pezzonovante pulling the strings. So that's a nice little scene.
Coppola did his homework. He did his homework, Alex.
I also want to say you should, if you're playing the Godfather drinking game, don't forget to take a shot every time Kay says, "Oh, Michael."
That's right. That's awesome. Yeah, Kay back in the action.
Yeah. Last question about that. Why is Connie afraid to ask?
So Puzo writes about this in the book. Connie has this probably justified worry that Michael does not like Carlo.
Yes.
Even before the whole Santino. Well, even especially after the Santino.
Oh, yeah.
thing,
Post Santino. Yeah.
Yeah. And so she's really, in the book, there are a few more scenes where Connie is trying to get Michael to accept him and her too, as a result, then as a couple truly into the family.
Yeah.
And Connie even asks Kay, hey, like, what does Michael think about Carlo? Is he okay with him? Is he mad? Can he say something? They have some conversations about that. And Kay does talk to Michael and asks him, hey, like, do you blame him for Santino? You want me to get into the book? There's actually quite a bit in the book about some background information.
It depends. Is it different than the movie?
The book is different than the movie. The book is different than the movie. The book is different. The book is different. The book is different than the movie. Yeah.
It is. That's right, Alex. The book is different from the movie. Let's see. Yeah. Well, so I take it back. The stuff in the book is, I have a potluck of things that take place in the story, but not in the movie, but not necessarily about what you just asked.
Okay.
Just to answer your question, Connie is worried that Michael does not accept Carlo, although she recognizes that progress has been made because he has now been given more responsibilities.
They expanded the candy store.
That's right. Yeah.
They bought the bagel shop next door and expanded the candy store over.
Yeah.
It's strictly going to be bookmaking and sports betting
And candy. Well, Michael's trying to take Carlo, make Carlo legit. He wants him to be a real candy store owner.
money in that white powder.
Yeah. Put the dum dums and the button candy behind the drapes.
You got a lot of button candy.
We got button candy on every street corner in the city.
So wait, Connie does not hold Carlo responsible for Sonny's death at all?
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sheesh.
It's wild, isn't it? Can I give you some background before we go?
Mama said not to meddle. So Connie's kind of right. Sonny should have meddled if he hadn't meddled.
Yeah.
If Sonny had gone straight to the police, this never would have happened.
Would never have happened. So Puzo writes, so there's this kind of potluck of things before we move to the garden scene. You ready? Mm-hmm. Puzo writes, page 388. It was almost, here's some timeline, Alex. It was almost 3 years now since Michael had returned home from Sicily and over 2 years since he had married Kay.
Okay.
The 3 years had been spent in learning the family business. Just want to remind you of that timeline. It's been a long time.
So long time. So in between then, Anthony was born.
Yes.
And Victor was born.
Uh-huh. And Kay's pregnant again.
And Kay is pregnant again. And there's Connie's second baby. Do you remember the baby?
Is either on the way or is probably already born.
Yes.
And is about to be baptized.
Huh, wait. So that's also weird.
Why?
Well, because the Don is still alive.
Still alive.
He took 5 shots and he's still alive.
Damn it, Phil. I said he's still alive.
So in this time, when we see the baby getting baptized, it's like a newborn baby.
Yes.
Sofia Coppola is a newborn baby. Mm-hmm. So
that's Kay's daughter.
How long would it take? I guess, how long is it in between? So in between now and the baptism, the Don has to die and they have the funeral and Tessio comes up and says, oh, there's going to be a meeting. And presumably, is it that day that is it the day that Tessio, that they arrange the meeting that everyone dies?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm just trying to think of that. If the baby is born, how many, to me, that seems like it's months away.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, it does.
So anyway. Go ahead. Let's give me some potpourri.
So this is interesting.
2 years. This is 2 years they've been married, Kay and Mikey.
3 years back, 2 years married. Puzo writes, Michael was amazed at how well. So Michael had spent all that time studying and learning how to be a Don and learning about the family's business.
Night courses.
Page 388. Puzo writes, Michael was amazed at how wealthy and powerful the Corleone family truly was. It owned tremendously valuable real estate in Midtown New York, whole office buildings. It owned through fronts, check this out, Alex, partnerships in 2 Wall Street brokerage houses, pieces of banks on Long Island, partnerships and some garment center firms. All this in addition to its illegal operations and gambling. So they were into quite a bit of business.
Wait, did they just say the gambling for last in that list?
No wonder Frankie's all pissed off by the time he gets to Lake Tahoe. Check this out.
So it sounds like they're already going kind of legit.
Yeah,
in a way.
So, yeah. Puzo writes, the most interesting thing Michael Corleone learned in going back over past transactions of the Corleone family was that the family had received some protection income shortly after the war from a group of music record counterfeiters.
Huh.
The counterfeiters duplicated and sold phonograph records of famous artists, packaging everything so skillfully they were never caught. Naturally, on the records they sold to stores, the artist and original production company received not a penny. Isn't that interesting?
Poor Johnny.
Yeah, well, that's what he says next. Michael Corleone noticed that Johnny Fontaine had lost a lot of money owing to this counterfeiting because at that time, just before he lost his voice, his records were the most popular in the country.
It doesn't say that just before he
It
lost his
does.
voice.
Yeah. His voice was weak. Let's see. So Michael asked Hagen, "Hey, why did Don Corleone allow these guys to cheat Johnny?" Hagen shrugged. Business was business. Besides, Johnny was in the Don's bad graces. Johnny having divorced his childhood sweetheart to marry Margot Ashton. This had displeased the Don greatly.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? So they're in the music. What do you call that music? Counterfeiting?
Yeah,
business?
bootlegging, pirates.
Bootlegging. That's
Yeah. We used to smuggle in wax records.
yeah. They created an indent along. They made they made an impression in the wax records.
With needles provided by your father.
Needles smuggled in from Canada. We recorded a killing.
The casino hotel will be given to Chubby Checker.
Freddie King, Albert King, and B.B. King from Chicago.
The King brothers.
The King brothers from Chicago will come in to record the blues. Let's see. So some more things from the book.
Yeah, potpourri.
Potpourri. Puzo writes, Kay soon learned that her mother-in-law went to church every single morning.
That doesn't surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me. Kay asked her, "Why do you go to church every single morning?" Do you know what Mama said?
Mama said, she said to pray for my husband's damned soul.
You're right. Mama Corleone said, No.
You can never lose your family.
Mama Corleone said, "I go for my husband." She pointed down toward the floor. "So he don't go down there."
Wow.
She paused. "I say prayers for his soul every day, so he go up there." She pointed heavenward. Do you think it worked, Alex? Do you think Don Corleone ends up there or down there?
No. I think he winds up in the eternal hellfires, as does Mama. So, she should be looking out for number one, first of all.
Interesting.
You can't live off the plunder of a murderer and then be like, "Oh man, what that guy does is terrible." You're just as guilty. Sorry, Mama.
Molasses. Here's a little more, Alex.
Mama.
Puzo writes, "Oh, this is interesting about Sonny Corleone." So Kay was wondering. Kay noticed that no one ever talked about Sonny. Kay noticed no one ever talked about Sonny. Nobody even referred to him, at least not in her presence.
There's not even a poster or a signpost.
Yeah. Kay had once tried to express her condolences to the Don and his wife and had been listened to with almost rude silence and then ignored.
Wow.
She had tried to get Connie talking about her older brother without success.
Wow.
Not interesting?
Wouldn't it be weird if they had like 7 other brothers who'd been killed and they just never talked about them because that's just what they did?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but like Sonny's kid is Sonny's wife and children are still.
That's the very next sentence.
Oh,
Alex,
Puzo reads my mind.
You got to bite your tongue more often. It's triggering a part of your brain that's foreseeing the future. Cartoon.
I can't see now, but I can see 10 years from now.
I'll So Sonny's wife, Sandra, had taken her children and moved to, where do you think?
Las Vegas.
Florida.
Florida.
Where her own parents now lived. Yep.
A friend down in Miami taking care of Sonny's kids.
Certain financial arrangements had been made so that she and her children could live comfortably, but Sonny had left no estate.
Wow.
And nothing on record. That makes sense.
But you think they just send her money?
Yeah. They just take care of her.
Obviously, she misses Sonny. Well, do you think, is that almost, I don't know, is that better or worse?
That you don't have anything on record?
No, that basically like now Sonny's kids are not growing up under the direct influence of a mob family.
Well, I think it depends on from whose perspective you're asking.
Yeah.
I mean, the Corleones want more family.
Right. But I mean, for like, in your opinion, would you say it's better for a kid to be raised in the Corleone household or over in Florida?
Oh, you're just boy. That's a you put it that way. That's a tough decision.
Just teasing Florida.
I like Florida.
I like Florida too.
Yeah. So here is that bit you were asking about Connie and her nervousness about their perception of Carlo. Naturally, Connie and Carlo were always nervous that the rest of the family blamed her for indirectly causing Sonny's death, or blamed her husband.
Yes, blame your husband.
But check this out, Alex. This wasn't the case. The proof was that they had given Connie and Carlo a house in the mall itself and promoted Carlo to an important job in the labor union setup. So that could have been a ruse. Is that what it's called, Alex?
I'm just trying to lower their guard.
Puzo writes, and Carlo had straightened out, stopped drinking, stopped whoring.
Wait, you straightened out Carlo?
He straightened himself out, I think. But can you believe it? He stopped drinking, stopped whoring, stopped trying to be a wise guy. The family was pleased with his work and attitude for the last 2 years. Nobody blamed him for what had happened.
Really?
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah. I mean, I guess they're just kind of saying he was a pawn. That like,
or it was just a coincidence that he beat her up. She called him. Sonny went running because it was his temper, and he went and he got shot. It was just a bad set of circumstances, but it wasn't planned.
But obviously,
but I think it's better in the movie that it's left.
Well, yeah, because obviously Mikey has doubts.
Yeah,
he's still pressing it.
It's very odd that Puzo definitively writes from the author's perspective that they didn't blame him.
He's better. An unreliable narrator.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe the book is written from Connie's perspective. Michael never blamed Connie and Carlo. Yeah,
I like that Connie becomes kind of the more evil Lady Macbeth type in GF3. I think it's very interesting seeing her in that role.
She's the one that orders the hit on Zaza.
Yeah,
that's great.
She says "Tata Zaza,
Zaza Tata." Mama. Here's another section. Puzo writes,
give me some of that potpourri. Give me some of that Mo-pourri.
Mo-pourri, another garbage pail kid for you. Puzo writes, Kay didn't care much for Neri. Oh, because if you remember, Neri is in this scene where I think he's the one. In the book, Puzo writes that Rocco is driving them, but Al is definitely there in the scene. Maybe he's just there when they arrive because he picks up Anthony. Kay didn't care much for Neri. He reminded her of Luca Brasi in his quiet ferociousness. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
To me, they don't seem similar at all.
Yeah, no. Al seems like a milquetoast guy.
Yeah.
Do you remember him in Needle Park, the actor?
Yeah, he played Al Pacino's character's brother.
Yeah, it was really weird seeing him in that role.
Yeah, because the dynamic was switched. He was the one who had more money and resources. Michael, can you get him a drink? So the roles are reversed. So that's all I have from the book, Alex.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the garden scene?
Yeah. So this is where Michael is in the garden with Don Vito Corleone. And they are both seated.
Do we call Mikey the Don at this point?
In the book, they keep referring to Don Corleone, Don Vito, as the Don.
Yeah.
More so than in the movie. in the scenes with Mo Green. They say, you can talk to the Don. Remember, Fredo says to Hagen, you can talk to the Don.
But he means Vito Corleone.
Don Vito. So it does seem like that's right. In the movie, it does a little bit, but more so in the book. Michael even says, "Oh, Don Vito is the Don."
Yeah, because I feel like until he dies, he's the Don, and because he's only semi-retired. Don't forget.
Yeah.
So he's still technically the Don.
So they're both semi-Dons.
No, but he never achieved. Yeah, I guess so.
Because if Don is semi-retired, someone has to pick up
that other half.
They're
has to
both
go somewhere.
semi-Dons.
The universe does not allow for a vacuum like that.
They're both semi-retired and semi-Don. So is Hagen referring to Michael in that scene? Wait a minute. The Don is semi-retired. Do you mean me, Don? Tom? So anything about this little scene in the garden?
Well, first of all, the first thing I thought of was, when even before we get to the garden scene, the transition between the previous scene of them in the car and it fades in, and you can kind of see Anthony in the center of the screen, and he is where the Don. So for like a second on the screen, the Don and Anthony are like overlapping each other, and so it kind of like reminds you of like, oh, it's almost like. Anthony's like the harbinger of death. Who's like, I'll be coming for you soon, Grandpa. Holding the pesticide.
Yeah.
He's like the Grim Reaper, but instead of a scythe, he has a pesticide container.
Yeah, I think Anthony beforehand had sprayed that pesticide on the oranges. And that's
that was no coincidence.
Wow, he's born into this family.
Yeah.
He is his grandfather's grandson.
It was Anthony all along.
And that's the best way to most quickly get pesticide absorbed into your bloodstream is through the gums.
It's true because he doesn't eat the oranges. He just
puts it on his gum.
He's only on the outside of the orange. If he didn't put the peels in his mouth, he totally would have been fine.
Exactly. He injected it into.
Oh, I thought he just sprayed the outside because if he ate the oranges, he would have been fine. But then he put the peel in his mouth, and that was how the poison
got into it. That's right. I think Anthony is so ruthless.
Yeah,
he's going to be the one to take this family in a new direction. I'm surprised he rebels in GF3.
He's like the Omen. He just comes out. He's like pure evil.
I think Anthony is so ruthless that at the age of 2.5, he gets his hands on that pesticide and he overdoses all the orange crops in the garden.
Yeah.
So that they are produced when they fruit, they are so poisonous.
Oh, wow.
Because he knows the Don likes to play that game.
Oh, wow. So that is some far thinking. Instead of just slipping poison into his tea or something, he's actually he winds up poisoning like 100 other people who eat the oranges.
It's a long game, Alex. Gotta think ahead.
It's a numbers game.
That's why Anthony's so bitter in GF3 because it didn't work. He didn't kill. He meant to kill Michael and Kay and everyone.
He only wound up killing his grandfather, the one person he didn't want to kill. But it also made me think of how many if you're a Godfather and you want to stay alive, stay out of your garden, because it seems like a lot of Godfathers die in like sitting in chairs on nice spring days in their garden.
Yeah.
So
when they least expect it, right?
Yeah, which I guess in a way is kind of that it's got to be one of the best ways to die. I mean, look at Don Corleone. He got to live to be an old man. And he died in the comfort of his home. He was uncomfortable for like 15 seconds while he had a heart attack, and he died.
Yeah.
Granted, he got shot before then, and his son got killed. And
a lot of heartbreak, but
yeah,
and he was in the presence of his grandchild. He was having fun.
But a lot of these Dons seem, if they live to old age, they seem to die in their gardens.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, would I rather be Don Corleone dying sipping wine in my garden, or would I rather be Tatalia who gets shot after bedding some hooker in a hotel room?
That's a pretty good way to go.
Yeah.
There's the 3 seconds of we'll get there when they all die. I'm sure we'll compare which would be the worst and best death.
Yes. So the ghost of Anthony introduces the scene. And
I think it's also a good connection, Anthony superimposed over Don Vito Corleone, because it's a connection across generations.
Yes. That's true.
Like it's maybe a foreshadowing that none of them are going to escape this.
Well, it's actually it's actually the foreshadowing that Anthony does escape it, because Anthony does become a singer. And
Well,
stuff.
he does, but his spoiler alert, his sister gets killed.
Yeah, that's
So
true.
he's still, even though he tried to get, I was going to try to do it in opera form because he's an opera singer.
Yeah,
Even though he tries to get out, they pull him back in.
yeah, that's true.
I guess they don't pull him in.
Yeah.
Anything about this minute?
Well, so the conversation is basically a lecture. We basically are walking in on the middle of Don's school, and Don Corleone is telling Mikey that after I die, one of your trusted associates will come to you, and Barzini will reach out to someone who's trusted to you, and they will betray you. They'll set up a meeting guaranteeing your safety, and that meeting you will be assassinated. And then Michael looks at him. Mikey almost does like the silent version of like a spit take. Like he just like stares at him goggle-eyed, right?
Yeah.
And then the minute ends. So
Well, it's an interesting choice of words that Don ends that scene by saying, not the scene, the minute, by saying, "You'll be assassinated."
yeah.
It's a very stark way to share with someone the plan that's happening to kill you. But
Yeah.
instead of they're going to try to assassinate
Yeah, or
you,
the
you'll
plan.
be assassinated.
So
it definitely got his attention.
enjoy it if I can. Have an orange. It's a better way to go.
That would be great in this scene. He's like, hold on a second. He turns away for a second. He comes back. He's like, oh, he's the orange peel in his mouth. He just does that to everybody.
That's what he does in his semi-retirement. He just invites people
He's
over.
been working on his impressions.
Wait a minute. Here's my Jimmy Stewart.
And that's his impression of everyone.
Mary.
Oh, I thought
So look, wait a minute. Wait, this is my best Jimmy Stewart. Hold on.
he does that for everybody.
Look, I even do a good Johnny Fontaine. Look, hold on.
We already saw his Johnny Fontaine impression earlier in the movie.
That was a pretty good one too.
It was.
What have I got to do? What have I got to do?
So is this lecture, is this like standard, the way the Don is so glibly explaining the story, like, is this like standard Mob 101? Like,
Everyone does this. As soon as one guy dies, we all try to trick their person into betraying them.
you know, like he's just kind of like, it's just the way it's done.
Yeah, if he goes textbook, he's going to send someone you trust to set up the security, and you'll be assassinated. It's been done for hundreds. There have been things happening between crime families for hundreds of years.
What's funny is that's kind of almost what so Mikey must have made. Did Mikey make some he must have made some arrangements to reach out to people in all the other families to help betray them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To know where
Yeah.
Barzini was going to be, and to know that Mo Green was going to be getting a massage. Like, there must have been people on the other
true.
side who were
Yeah.
feeding them information.
You're right.
So it's almost like it's almost like Mikey's like, you know what? I'm gonna do that before I get killed. I'm gonna reach out to their people before their Dons get killed. Like, start laying the groundwork. So
Yeah, he's smart.
yeah.
He's smart and he deserves respect.
He'll be assassinated.
I also like that he uses the word assassinated as
Yeah.
opposed to murdered or shot or something like that. So if the plan had worked, what do you think would have happened? Do you think Tessio would have been the one?
if they hadn't screwed up all of Tessio's arrangements?
Yeah. I wonder how it would have worked. Would Tessio have, or should we save this for when they actually are going in the car?
Yeah, maybe let's save it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. Just one thing I want to say. If it worked and they killed Michael, successfully killed, I think they would have left his body with an orange peel in his mouth.
Oh.
It's a Sicilian message. Don't eat the fruit from your own garden.
Wait, do you mean literally or do you mean like
I
symbolically?
mean literally. Because Anthony's been in that garden.
Anthony the Gardener Corleone.
Yeah, you find out that Anthony is a becomes a huge fan of Luca Brasi, studies everything he did, and follows in his footsteps.
He finds the lost journals of Luca Brasi and like, uses it to become like the new Luca Brasi.
Yeah. And what better
Don Corleone, I was your son, but now I am. You are my father, but I am.
And he sounds like that because he has orange peels in his mouth.
Totally.
And what better cover Anthony can use to hide his being an assassin than as an opera singer?
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It really is, because of the what do you call opera is very tragic.
Yeah. And ironically, that's where she winds. That's where Mary winds up getting winds up getting killed at the opera.
Zaza. Spoiler.
Hey, is that your way of alerting people that that's a spoiler for GF3?
For GF3, yeah. Maybe anytime we talk about GF3 and give spoilers, I'll create a Zaza sound effect and I'll just put it over that. So it'll be like Zaza, 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 Zaza.
Do you think that there's anyone... It's interesting. There must be people who are listening to this right now who have not seen GF3.
Oh, sure.
Which is funny to me.
I haven't even seen it.
Like if I had spelled 147 episodes, I would have had to have watched it. You know what I mean? Like that's a commitment to listen to this many episodes. So it's I definitely recommend everyone should watch it.
Yeah.
So
we'll get there, Pop.
We'll get there. So anything else about the garden scene? Great to see Brando again, looking a little older, relaxed, drinking wine. He's drinking more wine than he should anyway.
Yeah. I have one more comment. Did you notice his glass of wine?
Yes.
It was balanced on the arm of his wicker chair that he's seated in.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's about to fall over. Terrible place to put a wine glass.
Yeah. You'd think, I bet to this time, you think he's been sitting in this chair for years, so you think he would have a good place to put his wine glass down.
Yeah, it almost looks like a prop, like it's stuck on there, because it really looks like it's leaning over. It's defying gravity. Yeah.
Well, they make their own laws, these mobsters. They got powerful friends.
We got, don't we got that Einstein guy on the payroll?
See if they make me a glass that can't be knocked over.
We got some biotechnicians on the payroll. They might like a story like that, right?
I love the idea that Einstein is like in his laboratory, he has a big blackboard, he's doing formulas, and then suddenly like young Don Corleone comes in. He's like,
Either the formula for anti-gravity or your brains are going to be on this contract.
On the chalkboard.
yeah, the chalkboard. Oh, guten Himmel. He has to start erasing his whatever he was working on to start doing it.
Oh, that's great, because he would have discovered the secret to the universe, but he was sidetracked.
He was just about to do it. Almost there. Only 2 more figures and Herr Corleone, what brings you here?
Luca Brasi.
Alfred Einstein.
Oh, that's great.
Mr. Einstein, you believed in your scientific laws.
Did you have you ever heard the series Young Indiana Jones?
I've heard of it. I've never seen. Is it out?
It was a series on TV in like the 90s. I never saw it either. It's basically about the adventures, surprise of young Indiana Jones. But one of the gimmicks of the show was that they tried to be educational, so they would have like Indiana Jones meet up with Calvin Coolidge, because all people from that time period. So every episode, a lot of episodes, he would meet a famous historical figure. So that's something we should do with the Godfather. We should always have him meeting like all the characters meeting like Babe Ruth and other like characters from other people from like the Marx Brothers, people from that time period.
Awesome. That is great. That would it always be in the context of him trying to get leverage something from them,
or have them appear in a movie or something with the context of the Godfather.
Mr. Ruth, I'm a big fan of your baseball, your techniques, but we need to bring you to New York. What are you doing in Boston?
Well, we know Hyman Roth is a big baseball fan ever since Al Rothstein fixed the 1919 World Series.
Yeah. Don Ruth. Either your blood will be on that bat or your bat will be in New York. Don.
Either you're sitting
Like he wants to autograph a bat.
either your autograph or your brains are going to be on this bat.
That's an odd.
Thank you.
That's a great idea. Love it.
Yeah, so we should do like a series of them meeting different, like,
Yeah.
or maybe people are coming to them asking for favors, like, and then like something that happened in that time, we could be like,
Oh yeah.
maybe like FDR's like, oh, Don Corleone, I got to do an FDR impression. I want to get us involved in World War II.
Like, what if I have my Japanese friends bomb us and get us in? Would that be helpful?
Oh, that would be great, Don. That would be just super.
Oh, and that's why everyone was really pissed at Michael
Oh, I
joining
know
the
they
war
didn't know.
effort.
It's like
Like, we
ironic
wouldn't have started
consequence.
this war if we didn't even have joined.
He gets the Japanese to bomb Pearl Harbor. That'd be great. The Emperor Hirohito is just doing about his business, not even interested in joining the war. And Don Corleone, Luca Brasi.
Or it'd be like
show
Tom
up.
Hagen, who's like, Emperor Hirohito, I just found out that one of your prime ministers is about to graduate from opium to...
Oh, that's great. That is great.
All right, we got our new thing.
Awesome. Love it.
Maybe that should be a new bonus thing. Every time we talk about one person from the past who they can meet.
Okay. That's fun. You know how much we like to infuse history into everything we talk about.
Yeah, educational.
That's great.
Yeah. All right, so what do you say we rate this minute?
Let's rate it. This is kind of a tough one, isn't it?
It is a tough one. Don only gets one real scene, one little bitlet.
I know. It's good delivery on the part of Don Corleone, though.
He'll be assassinated.
And at least the K stuff is we got some good, that was some interesting backstory stuff.
Oh, gosh.
I hate to say it, but I feel like anytime Brando's on, it's a +1. Anytime K is on, it's like a -1.
Yeah.
She's just such a wet blanket.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, Michael. You've been saying that for it was a boy. Oh, Michael. You really anyway.
Oh, my God. By the way, I've had 5 shots since we started this episode because you said, oh, Michael 5 times. 5 shots and I'm still recording.
5 shots and you're still alive.
I am the drinking one. I'm not the,
You arrested me. I am the wasted one. That's like Joey Zaza.
You think too much. Yeah.
You think too much of me, kid.
You think too much of me, kid. I'm not that sober.
All right, let's rate it.
Well, let's rate it.
All right. I got my number.
I got my number.
Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I stopped at 3.
I said 4.
Yeah.
Just because when he says you'll be assassinated,
Yeah.
and then Mikey looks at him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I think of the probably the next minute
Yeah.
where they're going to really be engaged in.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pre-rate that a 5.
Oh, you're going 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What do we have ready for our folks in the bonus content, Alex?
Well, last week we added our new subject, which was what?
Which was interviewing Jaws.
Oh, that's right. Using the classic Dickie Goodman format of asking a question, or actually, you know who does that a lot? Weird Al does. Remember on MTV, he used to do that. He'd be like, "So Bon Jovi, what's it like doing this?" And then he cut to an interview of Bon Jovi answering some other question. That's kind of what it's like.
Yeah.
We use
Yeah.
lines from The Godfather and in responses to other questions.
Yeah. No one wrote in asking for advice from the characters. Maybe we need to put that on Facebook.
That might be a better.
Just open
That might
it
be
up.
a better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do it. Make a note.
Plus, we got Garbage Pail Kids and our new feature, which we're going to write down, which is Godfather meets historical figures.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll be doing all that. And if that sounds exciting, then go over to godfatherminute.com/support and sign up. And
Until next
next time.
Oh,
Michael.